What's good, everybody? It is your boy Lawman back in the zone, back in the piece. Listen, we are back out in our video, and today we're gonna be talking about JJK Curse Clash and Bandai Namco. So, as you already know, JJK Curse Clash is not the greatest game on the market. Let's be honest here. It's oh oh Lord forgive me, Jesus. Mm, mm. This is gonna be a rough one. But is the game really that bad? Yes and no. See, here's the problem. Here lies the problem. JJK Curse Clash is bad in many ways, but it's also great at the same time. That being, and where it's good in, I will break it down in a minute. But let's first talk about where it's bad in, alright? Because I know people were like, bro, why are you saying it's good when it clearly was trash? It didn't hit the sales figures. People were returning the game. Blah blah blah. Yada yada yada. Well, it was because I tried it on a Xbox free play day, and I realized. I mean, I guess stuff does hit better when it's free. So hey, more power. More power to you. But the thing about it was the fighting and the gameplay itself was not all that bad. But like I said, I'll start with what is bad. So obviously, as everybody would know, with them every fighting game, with almost every fighting game, there's a story, and that story, oh Lord help me, Jesus, yeah, it was as bad as people said it was. It was literally just it was like a click through kind of instead of like the whole time and cinematics and of course, the different chapters, but there's cinematics, and then there's maybe walk around times we can just walk around, like in the older Bandai Namco games with Naruto, we could actually walk around and talk to people, which would have helped expand on the lore just a bit. They didn't do that, so they didn't do that in JJK. So yeah, the story was bad by principle. All right, just off of sheer principle, it was bad. Now, we're gonna get to a more egregious part. That being the store. Now, as you notice, if you're if you played it or even just listened to some of the stuff about it, you would know that they had a currency as per Bandai Namco's hunger for money. Pretty much part of the course. Uh, they had a store with all types of stuff you had to buy, and of course it was, well, I wouldn't call it microtransaction. I'm not sure if you had to pay for the currency. I don't think you had to pay for the currency. I'm not sure. Like, yeah, I don't know if I'm not sure if you had to pay for the currency that to buy stuff out the store, but I do know that there was earnable currency that could go towards buying skins or alternate looks from different seasons for a certain character, like character outfits from, I think, maybe late season 1 or season 2, or no, season 2, yeah. And it was, and a lot of the skins were pretty good in my opinion, but of course it would be a slog to grind just to get one skin. But anyways, I digress. Let's continue on. So there was also a very important factor I need you guys to understand. A very important factor as to why this game was so bad. Wasn't just a store. It was the lack of good modes as well. They had no. I don't even think they had any good art. Well, they had an arcade mode where you could fight, different enemies and like around. I think it was like a kind of like a tower esque, or like pretty much like not round table, but like a tower esque type vibe where you, of course, you go through the enemies like any other fighting game where there's an arcade. But there wasn't too much to do other than just fight, play the terrible story, and fight some more. It really was just, I don't know, not hopeless, but it wasn't great either. So with that understood, with that out the way. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. So sorry. The modes, the not just the modes, the with the lack of modes, there was lack of creativity. There was a heavy lack of creativity and soul that really could have been put into this game. Like we could have had a mode where maybe I don't even know, maybe there were days, I don't know, just something interesting or different that could provide a little bit more enjoyment. I'm not sure. I just think things could have been just a little bit better on the mode end of things. But sorry, I know y'all waiting for me to talk about the gameplay, which is the very main reason why everybody is yabbering about the game being bad, which I can agree with. But you'll be surprised at how about my final review. Listen, um, the gameplay is decent. It's not bad. It's really just it really could have been better. I think the combat was worse going in, and I think some people were complaining about. I'm not sure, but some people might have been complaining about the fact that like basic hits don't do damage, which I understand. Like, yeah, I would like my hits to do damage. I'm not sure if they changed that or if it's like you have to get a combo off or what they call an extraction technique in order to do damage to an enemy, which is I think that's a bit I think it's a bit better. I'm not sure if it was always there from day one. If it was, can you tell me? Can you not tell me? I don't know. But all I know was extraction technique is pretty much just a basic combo you throw in. You take the dude out pretty much. But continuing on, I think people were in a way kind of chirping. They were chirping a little bit. They was chirping a little bit about that part, about the physical attacks not doing too much damage, but more curse energy filled attacks doing damage. I feel like that it was more accurate to only allow the cursed energy attacks to do damage because usually a lot of the characters in the show are done near invulnerable to physical damage. Not every single one of them, right? But when you're using Gojo versus Toji or maybe um Hanami versus Jogo, I mean, hey, maybe the humans, not Gojo, of course, because Bro's done also invincible, but certain characters I think should have been able to take more physical damage. I feel like there was a lot of balancing or like character like balancing they had to do on who gets this level of damage or who gets this version of damage. There's a lot that they could have did, but I think they were too lazy to do. So overall, and then also there was a lack of a local mode, so me and my younger sibling could not play, which I was like, okay, nah, because I was ready to start up the local match and get straight to mixing, get straight to mixing like a blender, you know, and hear the brother go easy, you know, because usually we would play Boruto, Naruto, Ninja Storm, and so it was a good time. But in this case, there was no local mode, so we couldn't even do that. So we had to play one at a time, which I was like, okay, yeah, this is bad. So overall, with that in mind, my overall review of the game, store, modes, gameplay alike, my final review on this game, at least from the 2 days I played it, I will give it a 6.5 out of 10. Not garbage, not amazing, can be fixed and improved, if they update that story, if they update the gameplay, if they put more skins and more alternate skins that aren't in the show in the store, um, add more. I feel like if they added just a lot more, uh, not even creativity, because creativity is really fake. If they added a lot more variety in what you could do and what and how you could play the game, I feel like there will be a lot more eyes on it. And I also believe that if they put some more characters in there, not even just more characters, but more character balancing, more maps. If they got a little more creative with the maps rather than just it being like some simple big arena, that there was actually stuff going on around it where there could have been curses flying around. So like the curses were attacking everybody, but if you played Ghetto, you wouldn't get attacked because technically they'd be your curses, but instead of getting attacked by the curses, you'd be getting attacked by fellow Jujutsu sorcerers, like ground level ones, like maybe not main roster, but maybe some ground level Jujutsu sorcerers that were also fighting these NPC curses, and then now they see you, they're gonna fight you too. So like if you're a curse, they're gonna be fighting you too. But if you're not a curse, you're gonna be getting jumped by curses. You know what I mean? Kind of like a For Honor situation going on here. That could have been a good idea. And guess what? That was off the top of my head in this minute. Imagine a person coming up with a better idea for a map or for a game mode than a person who's getting paid an hourly wage to build a video game. A team of people getting paid to make a video game, to not video game, to make a video game that's supposed to be fun and enjoyable. But I digress. Like I said, 6.5 out of 10. Could have been better. Could have been worse. I feel like that was one of the worst Bandai Namco games we got. And now that's the problem overall. Bandai Namco has a huge issue. Okay, they have an issue of making games that aren't great, and the only games that do end up great is being Naruto. Not even Naruto. They've been lacking on Naruto. It ends up being either One Piece or Dragon Ball Z. They never show any love to the other IPs they pick up. And that's why I believe they need to stop buying anime games and just start selling off the IP for the game IP to other companies for them to make their own. But here's why they won't. They're greedy. They're mega greedy. And it only took JJK Curse Clash's failure to make them realize, oh shoot, our player base hates us. Because Jump Force, Naruto the Boruto Ninja Storm, even though I have a good time in it, it's still not a great game. It's just a reskin of Ninja Storm 4 with extra steps and extra story, which I will say the extra story was low key emotional. Had a brother in tears. Okay, respectfully, had me in tears. So don't come for me about that. All right, don't come for me about that. All right, I was in tears. I was in shambles. I was in dire, dire, dire need of some tissues, a hug, and some ice cream. Yes, it had a brother looking like not Goten, Trunks with extra tears. Anyways, uh, other than that, but the problem lies in the fact that there was way, way too much, like, there was way too much reskinning, not even reskinning, like, there was just way too much repackaging with this game. There was nothing fresh. They instead of Naruto the Boruto Ninja Storm connections being like its own, like I said, its own entity. Like of course it will have like going back through the story of Naruto, but then it'll also have Boruto's story going through. Like it'll actually have the full cinematic Boruto story rather than just one bonus quest, but it was actually Boruto's entire story. You can actually walk around the village, you can actually go on different missions and do stuff, which would be awesome, right? That would be awesome. I would love to do that. Or even um or even walking around as or not walking around, or all the characters had new move sets, or even or even if they still have a similar move set as the older games. Geez, I'm glitching out. As the old, you know. No, but with the older games, like there was something always different about it. You know what I mean? It wasn't just I don't know. From what I've seen from gameplay in the older games, it wasn't always the same thing. You know what I mean? But in Ninja Storm Connections, it's like the same song and dance. There's no For most of the characters, especially if you've seen them in the previous game, it's the same moves, same and like same, finishers. I feel like if they changed up the finisher, if they changed up that finisher, at least half of them, at least half of the finishers, there would have been so much more respect and so much more praise going towards this game. Um, so much more love being shown. And not even just that, if there were more modes and more things to do in that game, I'm telling you, they would have easily have had maybe have had a nomination for being game of the year. Because the graphics were good. The gameplay was solid. I just feel like the problem with Bandai Namco games outside of with Naruto and all is that they always try to either do a side to side or like an empty arena fighter. You need to match the style of the game, all right, or the game that you're playing. I don't mind JJK or Naruto being an open arena because that's how it is. That's how it is. I love seeing an arena. Okay, I love having characters fly around and get knocked into places. But here's the problem. In JJK, they had it in open areas, or I would love to see it in a city. And the idea of multiple curses where you could get, or better, you can be playing as Megumi, right? Or something like to call him Potential Man. Well, let's say you start getting beat up and you're at critical health. You can summon Maharaga to fight for you while you heal. As you heal up. There could be like a healing system where if like you're left alone for a while and you have enough curse energy, you can use curse reversal, or at least for certain characters use curse reversal and heal yourself. Or in Naruto, you could of course still have like open arena, um but you could have like an audience or a crowd, or maybe there's fighting going on in the background depending on the map. You need to have a life in these games. Or um or even just being able to get knocked in the buildings and there just be destruction everywhere. Like you could see the active effects of your fight. I would love to see that. Rather than the map look the same way it was earlier, kind of like in Dragon Ball Z Fighters. They did amazingly with making sure that you could feel the effects of what your fight did to the map, and that was 2D. Imagine what they could do in 3D. Yes, we have the new Sparking Zero, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, which you best believe a brother is gonna cop that once he gets the dinero, once he gets the blede, once he gets that cookie, what's it? Not the cookies. No, once he gets the dough with the cheddar, the butter. You know what I mean? I best believe a brother's gonna be copping, Sparking Zero instantly and indubitably. Uh, you best believe he's getting that. All right, that's enough glazing of one game. Sorry, I shouldn't be glazing because that's also a problem. Is that yes, with every Naruto, Ninja Storm, JJK, and Bleach mobile game, there is always a Sparking Zero or Dragon Ball Z Fighters around the corner. But we need to stop that. here's a big problem in the gaming industry that we need to end now. And that is having a bunch of bad games before we get a good game. No. This is money people are spending. Remember that. Not, this isn't free, okay? This isn't free. And we need to lose the notion that we need to have sympathy for these companies and the workers and the dev teams. I've lost sympathy for them a long time ago because guess what? Unless they're in a animator situation, because I feel bad for animators because of the fact that a lot of them get underpaid and overworked in certain studios. Mappa. Most studios in Japan. Jeez. Oh, oh, oh man. Ugh. Oh man, sorry. That was just massive frog in my throat. Jeez. Psalm 100 for an example. Oh man, sorry y'all. I just got a massive frog in my throat. Oh, 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 jeez. Anyways, continuing on. Unless there are developers in a animator situation, they cannot sit here and be like, "Oh, you gotta feel bad for us because this and that." I guess what I only feel a little bit bad, the smallest bit bad because not all the decisions that that the developers are not making, all the things that they're doing is they're by choice. It's because that the company tells them to do that. Like for Concord, for example, there was reports of toxic positivity where you couldn't speak out against the game or you would get in trouble. You couldn't even give or you can't even say like if there was an opinion put on the game. So like I guess they had a level of, oh yeah, if you want to put something in the game, we'll be happy to do it. But if you say something shouldn't be in the game, you're fired or you're demoted or you're in trouble or we just ain't gonna listen to you. You know what I mean? There was no honest criticism allowed. There was no honest criticism, which was bad because that's why the game ended up being trash. 400 million down the drain, down the drain. Ooh, ooh, send it on down. Better send it on down. Better send the money down. Send that money down. Send that money down. Send that money down the drain, baby. Oh. Sorry, my vocals are off today, but here's the thing. But the point still stands. They're just throwing the money down the drain at this point. And um, Bandai Namco is also a big example of this. Like they're greedy, but they're also just throwing money down the drain for these projects. So in overall, what I want to see or what we should be outraging about, or not just outraging, what we should be fighting for, is for companies to stop being greedy, to stop with the microtransactions. Because yes, I watched many videos like they're here to say that's how they make their revenue. Well, guess what? We as players have a choice to say no. We need to expect better from companies like Bandai Namco. And if a game is bad, stop buying it. Stop buying Bandai Namco games. Even when there's a good game from Bandai Namco, if you really want to buy it, go ahead. But if you're like, hey, I don't mess with Bandai Namco's tactics, I'm just not gonna buy their games. And I know I just said I'm gonna buy Sparking Zero, but like I said, if there's a bad Bandai Namco game, maybe just don't buy it. Not maybe, just don't buy it at all. Don't give them your money. And we should stop being okay with half-baked products, especially from double or triple A studios. Okay, indie games, all right, they can have a hiccup or two. They can have a buggy launch, or not even, well, not horrifically buggy, but a bit of a buggy launch and be okay. They can mess up a couple times, and as long as they fix it and improve the game over time, It's okay. You fix it, you're making it, you're changing it, it's all good. But stuff like Cyberpunk, which I'm gonna make that, which is what the next, not next video, but one of the upcoming videos is gonna be about specifically, because I got personal beef with how that game came out and how it is now. All right, and I will explain why in that video. So stay tuned. But we need to stop being okay with bad, very buggy, unplayable launches and then still give the game developers a chance. No, refund, don't touch that game again. Teach these developers a lesson. Teach these companies a lesson that they can't keep scamming us, because let's be honest here, they know how the game looks, especially if it's a single player game. They know how it looks off principle. They should have game testers look at the version of the game that we're getting and be like, "Hey, we got problems," or release a demo, or release a beta, or at least something to actually see if there's any buggy issues and see how servers hold up. They don't do that. Not much anymore. They did barely do that. The only game studio that isn't indie, or I'm not gonna say they're the only game studio that does this, but one of the most notorious game studios for doing playtests and betas to make sure the game looks good at launch is the is who made the finals, Embark Studios. Embark Studios did a slew of beta tests for the finals. I think they're doing even, I think hopefully they're doing play tests for the for our creators. They actually care enough about their community to make sure they release a bunch of playtests and betas in order for them to get the desired product. But a lot of these companies release either one beta or one demo and say, ship the game on out, and we don't care if you spend over $70 out of your check, you're not getting a good product if they're like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I know I'm going in circles, but I heard about Flight Simulator 2024, and I know that game is insignificant. It's not the most important game on the market right now, but there was a $200 edition that I know some people bought because they liked the game, and no disrespect to because everybody likes what they like. But here's the big problem: the game did not work at launch. It didn't work at launch. Tell me why it didn't work at launch. Tell me why. I'm sorry, I know it's a bit of a longer video. If you got something to do, save, come back later. But let me tell you, how am I gonna pay $200 for a game and it be a buggy launch? And oh goodness gracious, oh Mortal Kombat, I got something for you right here. But you know what? Before I rip Mortal Kombat to shreds after what I just witnessed after logging into the game today, I'm gonna save that for later. Yes, you're getting back-to-back uploads of me ripping these games to the ground because I'm sick of the gaming industry. I'm sick of how these games continue, especially AAA games, continue to scam people. But you know what's even worse? It's not even just AAA anymore. It's freaking it's freaking indie games now. It's freaking any game studio now. They're scamming their players. They're scamming gamers. And then they give us buggy games at launch and then say we'll fix it later. No, fix it now. Or better yet, it should have been fixed from the door. From the door. Y'all have over and over and over again have not failed to disappoint your player base. Over and over, year after year, since 2020, we've been getting bad, buggy games. Unfinished products. We need to stop having more cyber. We need to stop having cyberpunks, and we need and we need to start having more Skyrims. All right, and I'm not talking about in terms of long-term games. I'm talking about in terms of light bug, or actually no, Skyrim had a bunch of bugs. Never mind, not Skyrim, but we need more. We need more finals. We need more like the finals that were tested, that were properly made. and were made in love and respect of their community. These games aren't made in love of in respect of their community anymore. They're not made with that. They're made with just hunger for money in mind. With, oh, we need to make sure the shareholders get their pay. Well, what about the players who are making sure you're making your money and the shareholders get their pay? What about your player base that's making you the money in the first place? It's like they forget that the players are the only reason they have what they have, and they're so ungrateful for it. So ungrateful. Never seen such an ungrateful and freaking entitled industry of gaming. Industry of within media ever. Gaming has become so corporate, so greedy, and I don't want any more part of it. I'm gonna play older games. I'm gonna keep playing whatever new game looks good and isn't a freaking cash grab. Absolutely. But best believe something's got to change. And things are going to have to get worse for these companies before they get better. So, yes, we just got to let these companies keep wasting their money and see how long it takes before they realize they messed up. Companies like Sony, companies like Nintendo being greedy, giving their player base the same game every single year. When will there be variety with Pokemon, Nintendo? When will you stop copyright striking every person that wants to do something creative with your IP, Nintendo? When are you gonna stop trying to bring down Palworld for being an objectively better game than Pokemon ever was, Nintendo? CD Projekt Red. You know what? No, I'm gonna wait for you. You're next. Best believe you're next. You're next on the chopping block for how I'm going to rip the game to shreds. The game is going to be done for. The game is done. I'm about to explain every problem I have with the game. And explain why you should have done better. But I digress. God bless you all. Because next video, I am tearing this game. I'm destroying this game. God bless y'all. May y'all have a very blessed and beautiful day. I'm mad right now. I'm livid because I'm sick of games that are scams. I'm sick of scams. I'm sick of these lying companies. But anyways, nah. Enjoy some water, enjoy some tea, enjoy some alkaline, you know what I mean? Enjoy whatever drink is right next to you. God bless, mate. Read the word, pray to God, and just forever stay vigilant. God bless, and we are out.